Okay. Should we just
Dive in?
right in?
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should. We should dive headfirst into 100 years of doing this.
100 years of Honeydew me.
4 and 100 years ago.
It's our 100th episode.
Woo!
We made it to the triple dig.
Triple dig. Also, it's almost our 2-year.
Yeah, it is. In
End
a
of
couple
September.
Of months.
Yeah, which
Damn.
is absolutely insane. So happy 100th. Betty White didn't even make it to this one. I don't know why that came.
Feels a little soon.
I know. I'm just happy for us. I think.
Wow. Really starting off on a good note.
Good note. No, we are. We are.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun things to talk about today.
We do. We thought we would just check in, tell you what's going on within these vibrant sex lives of ours.
Within these 4 walls.
And as you do when you hit triple dig, you're like, what else is 3? Threesome. So we wanted to get into that a little bit.
Good job. You said we would come up with good transitions, and you sure delivered.
I do what I do.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I guess I've kind of been up to a lot.
Yeah. You start us off because you're doing a lot.
I'm doing the most. Well, I'll start with the light stuff. So I just got back from a trip, and I have a new boyfriend now.
The light stuff. Bury the lead. I went on a trip and I have a boyfriend.
No, it's fun. I like him. It's great. But so we have a lot of great sex, which I will get into. But we also are really good at sexting each other, which is really fun. So we did a lot of that while I was out on a trip for a few days.
That's so fun. Tell me more. Read us specifics.
Oh, great. I'll just dive right into my text messages. No, I mean, I've never really felt totally confident in my sexting or dirty talk abilities. But so the thing about my little boyfriend is that he is so cute and like such a little nerd that when he says dirty things, it really like throws me off in a good way and kind of gets me turned on because I'm like, what?
I'm what?
I'm what? No, but really. So he just starts talking about like things that he misses about me or that he like wishes he was doing to me. And then I just kind of like dive right into that.
Yeah, you do.
And deliver it right back. And he's really good at being like a pleaser. And so when I tell him the things that like have felt good, that really works for him as well.
Tenfold.
Also, you know what I tried yesterday, which actually went over well?
What?
I tried calling him daddy.
I love that. Okay, we had this whole conversation. We went on a trip with our friends, and Emma just turned to all of us, and she's like, what can you say instead of daddy?
I know.
So we tried to come up with all of these different terms. What were they?
Oh, God. Papa?
Oh, Papa was one of them.
Papa.
Ew.
I know. That doesn't. Just like
Mister.
Papa. Whatever. That's
Yeah.
Stranger Things. Mister.
That's one.
I don't remember the other ones.
I don't either. Those are the ones that matter.
But it was so funny. So we were in the car. And like I had made a weird sound and he's like, sounds like the sounds you make in bed. And I was like, daddy or something like that. And he was like, say it again?
Oh my God.
And I was like, daddy? And he's like, yeah, I think I like that.
And that's funny because when you brought it up before, you were like, I don't think he's going to like it.
I didn't
He
think so
doesn't
either.
sound like he's super interested, but then you just...
I know. I just did it out of the bedroom so that he could like really not like it and it wouldn't hurt my feelings. So he was like, yeah, I enjoy that.
Because sometimes nothing else works.
Yeah.
Nothing else works.
I know.
But I want you to get a little bit deeper into your sex life because there's some stuff that's been going on that you haven't necessarily had before.
I know.
So can you stop burying the goddamn lead and tell us about the dominance?
Yes. So I feel like I've alluded to it a little bit. And like I said, he's like just very unsuspecting when it comes to how I would expect he would be in the bedroom. And I've mentioned before that I like choking and spanking, but he has taken dominance to a different level than I ever would have expected and given me the most like mind-blowing orgasms ever. So I'll explain how the most mind-blowing orgasm happened. We were having sex, and then he had finished and he wanted me to finish. So he like instructed me to go get my toy. So like when it was my turn to finish, it was going to be me masturbating like for him. And we like had started
Star
this
of the show.
Star
on
of the
your
role.
stage.
Yes. And it was like he was telling me that I had to like ask for permission. I had to like tell him when I was about to like he was like totally making it him in control. And that's just I've never like role played like that before. I've been uncomfortable in situations when guys have like tried to.
Right.
But this felt so like I was enchanted in the moment. Like I was
enchanted.
It was just fantastic. And then so I had gotten my toy and he told me that like I had to ask him before I could finish, and I had to like tell him when I was getting close. And then I did, and he made me stop and go down on him so that it like brought me to an edge. And then I really enjoy going down on him. So that I did that. Oh God, I'm like getting flustered. And so doing that just like enhanced it, because we've talked about edging before, and it was on top of like him really being in his role, which didn't make it feel awkward, which I could feel like if people half-ass it, it's like really awkward.
Right.
And
or if they're they're uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and after that, and he was like getting close, he like pushed me back onto the bed and then had me like use my toy again. And as I was like getting close to finishing, he was like talking dirty in my ear and like telling me like things to imagine, and like him behind me, and then that was just the most intense orgasm. Like once I finally did finish, it was the most intense orgasm I've ever had. It like rippled from my head to my toe for like minutes.
Oh my God.
It was incredible. Like I've gone like so far past that where it's like using handcuffs, using like bleh.
Right.
And it's like, but sometimes it's all about what goes on in your mind. Like
you don't need props.
Exactly.
Necessarily.
You need like the mind games. Like we talked about mind fucking with like Sir Ezra forever ago. And I feel like that kind of played into it in terms of like, it's also like in your head about like the control that he has over you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Is this something that you knew you would be into?
No.
Like, okay.
Not this heavily. I'm a fiend for it.
I crave it.
So I don't remember, and this is such a bad sex podcast thing to admit, I don't remember what it is you need to have an orgasm. Is it a fetish or a kink? I think it's fetish.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's fetish.
That you need?
Yeah, because when I think we were asking Jet Setting Jasmine about this, and it was the difference between kink and a fetish. And a kink is something you're interested in, and like you have.
I think it's a kink. Oh, no, you're right.
And then a fetish is something that you need to have.
You need that. You personally need that thing in order to orgasm.
And I think now a little bit of like dominance and control is like something that I do need. And a little bit of like being told and given like that type of like, oh, and I really like being called a good girl, which I didn't realize I would like me.
And now that's tattooed on your ass, and it's just like there's no going back.
There's no going back. Well, there's being a bad girl in bed, and I think that's like brat play kind of. And then there's more of like the praising, which
more of a praise kink.
I'm more of a praise king kind of gal. I like being called a good girl.
Yeah.
And I like being like told I'm doing things right. That was really fun. So I've just like been learning a lot about myself.
Yeah.
The last few months. Did I also tell you that we used my restraints?
No, you didn't tell me about that.
Yeah. So he's been really interested in like trying those out with me. Because I just constantly have them under my bed. And so he like turned off all the lights, which is already my favorite thing.
Already I'm in.
Yeah. And he used all of the restraints, so arms and legs, 'cause it's all four. And I think we just had missionary sex like that. But that was really fun because obviously he was like checking in with me the whole time. That goes without being said from here on out.
Yeah.
but he could just like do whatever he wanted. And that was like another like dominance thing that really turned me on. Cause like I couldn't do anything about it, but I was having a good time. So it was good. It was fun.
I love that for you. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. Yeah. It's been a good time.
All the good things. I think I've talked about a little bit how you've inspired me and mine to get a little more dominant. Yeah. We also got like a 4-poster bed, like a full like canopy bed, which has been fun. We haven't really used it. I did jokingly put him in restraints. And I put a blindfold on him first, and it wasn't even like sexual at first, and then I just put him in restraints. But then I just kind of fucked with him. I'm really bad at like feeling confident enough to then make that a sexual situation.
Right.
Because then I tend to just make it like a joke. Like, I'm just fucking with you. It's funny. Yeah, I need to work on that confidence. But he has been really good about it.
What do you think your thing is about not having the confidence to play it out sexually?
I don't feel like I'm cool and like sexy in that way.
That's so funny to me. Because like you're constantly confident to me, and I think to a lot of people, when you like just live these days. And so I feel like you could totally pull it off if you wanted to.
I think it's like, it feels so separate from who I like see myself as that like I hope to move into that space, but also like it doesn't bring me a lot of pleasure, which I think is also part of it. So like, yeah, I'm sure if I worked on it and really just let myself go, then I could totally move into that space.
Right.
But there's like very little desire there, I think, to actually move into it. So maybe that's more of it than anything else. I think my partner and I both like it when the other person is a little more dominant. But he's taken on that role more because I'm get what I want.
Because honestly, I get what I want.
But he's been really good about it. I've talked about it before, how we're kind of trying to find ways to make it our own and like make it feel in line with our personalities. So it is more like laughy, silly in that sort of way, but still like, well, you're going to fucking do this.
Yeah.
And so I really like that.
Well, that's the best part, right? Because like if you're having sex with someone who all of a sudden doesn't even sound like your partner, how are you going to stay turned on?
You're going to do what I want. That's what I do.
This is a holdup. You're like a cartoon robbing a bank. All of a sudden, come out with a beard and a bandana.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I also think like it's good to mention that these times didn't go perfectly. Like the times trying out dominance.
Okay.
They were so fucking fun. Like I had amazing orgasms. I was so turned on by him, but like they didn't go perfectly. You know, like sometimes we would forget things that we like wanted to say, or it gets a little embarrassing to like start talking dirty and like whispering. I tried whispering and like it came out at normal volume. God. I was like, whoa. I was like, Daddy.
Daddy.
I'm sorry. I meant to whisper that.
Daddy.
Papa. But like, or like I would feel like he was in the middle of a sentence and kind of would lose confidence. So then I would like just forget that he like started talking because like we just have to keep moving on. You know, you can't like pause in those moments.
Right.
But like that's absolutely going to keep happening as we keep trying things.
That's just sex.
That's just sex.
That's trying new things.
Yeah. But it's like trying not to let it shake you because no matter what, like I'm enjoying having sex with him. So even if he messes up on a word, that's not going to like deter me from keep having sex with him.
Right.
So.
But that's a hard hump to get over. Hump. It's a hard hump to get over. You know what I mean? Because if I say the wrong thing, even in just life, I'm like,
fuck. I'm going to think about this for the rest of my fucking life.
Literally. Like, I am still up at night thinking about freshman year saying something stupid in a history class. It's like, that's its own issue. That's something to talk about with my therapist. But it's hard. Yeah. It's scary.
Well, because we talked about it today in a different episode that's going to come out later, but it's like you just feel like you're bad at it. Like you're failing.
Exactly.
And you're not going to be good at it because your first try wasn't good. But it probably was still great.
Well, and that goes back into codependence as well, of like you need somebody's approval in order to feel valued yourself. So you need to be good. You have to be perfect in order to feel like you are worthy of anything, let alone pleasure.
It's like an onion. There's so many levels to having good sex, but just like I'm not good at it. I feel comfortable. Did you like that word? It was
comfortable
and comfortable. I like having texting to dirty talk and to practice because one, it gives me more time, and two, I don't have to look them in the face when I'm saying things.
Yeah.
So, do you guys sext? Do you and Eric sext?
Sometimes. I mean, so for full transparency, he's been away the past week, and we haven't. I'm gonna say this straight up because I know you're listening. He's fucking awful at like long distance things. So like when we are apart from each other, it is very difficult and kind of like he's just so focused on what he's doing, which better not be somebody else. He's with his family. Which especially please don't be doing somebody else.
Good God.
Good fucking God. And so I've been like, oh, I should sext him. I should send him a nude. Like I've thought of all these different moments. And then like last night, oh, that's him texting me. He said, thinking about you, hottie.
Did he really?
Yeah, he
You're
did.
kidding.
No, that's what he said.
Oh my God. That was so not cute. That's hilarious.
That was really not cute. But like last night I was in the shower and like I saw my body in the reflection. I'm like, that'd be a really fucking cool picture because you can like still kind of make stuff out. And then I was like, and my phone would get wet. So I was just like, I don't know. But then I've also been scared to send him stuff because he's been with his family and I'm scared that somebody else is going to get something. Yeah. And like, oh, just like glance at his phone and be like, oh, it's just your wife.
Yeah.
And then it's
my naked boobies. My boobies.
So not as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
Also, we get stuck on what to say. And then it's just kind of like, I don't have anything to say back. So sorry
for you.
But honestly, I don't like I've talked about this openly. Like we go through lulls in our relationship of like we're having a ton of sex and then we're not having a ton of sex. And I feel like a couple of weeks ago we were having a lot more sex and right now we're not. And it's kind of like I don't know, it's partially frustrating because I want to, but then I'm also overwhelmed and I'm stressed. So I think that's just like a real life thing.
There's also been a lot of like family in your life recently.
That's true.
So
yeah, I guess that would do it.
If you want to have sex around Gam Gam and Pop Pop, I guess you could.
I guess you could.
That kind of isn't
not
a mood
particularly
accelerator. So I get that.
Not
part.
really a turn on.
Not really a turn on. Yeah, you have to be really in a mood to take a picture too, because once you start, you're like, that pose wasn't great. So you have to like keep trying.
It's an effort. There's a lot of not a quick.
I know. We need an episode on the actual poses for nudes.
I know. Honestly, I took a really good one in my overalls. I showed Emma.
You did,
and I really liked that one. But now I'm like, well, the standard's too high now.
No, you can keep going.
I know, but I'm like, yeah, I really like that one. I feel really pretty.
Just keep sending it.
Yeah. Just put different filters over it. New one. New me.
Felt cute. Yeah, I was going through is my voice going away? Am I just like too happy right now?
You're too excited.
I was going through my camera roll the other day and I was like, oh my God, Cass, do you want to see this really good nude I took of myself 4 years ago that I still have in my camera roll? And then I showed you.
You're still using it though, aren't you?
No, I haven't sent it.
Oh.
I haven't sent a nude last year. I showed you those ones that I sent. I thought.
Oh yeah,
those ones were good too. It was great. I think after Hawaii again, because I'm going in a few weeks, I'll be more tan with more tan lines that make me feel sexy. I also
whip some out then.
Don't know when the perfect time to send your first nude is in a relationship.
9 a.m. on a Tuesday,
like 2 days in.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, we're like 8 days in, so it's still brand spanking new.
I've been dating longer than that, just not.
Come it up.
You guys became boyfriend girlfriend the first day.
Girlfriend. But I also get scared. Like I trust him. I don't think he's like a serial killer. But that's still very vulnerable.
You don't really know. I don't actually know if my husband is or isn't a serial killer.
Yeah, that's true. I also, a part of me feels like that's just good marketing. If it gets out, you know?
Yeah.
I should just put our logo.
That's just really good marketing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have new strategies.
Like when Gossip Girl turned all of their terrible reviews into advertising.
I don't remember that.
They got like the worst show your kids could ever see, like sinfully like explicit or something. And they turned all of those into like their promo material.
I love that.
I think that's so fantastic. So I could just do that with my nudes.
Here we go. Just
on a roll.
Honeydew me.
Yeah.
Little logos over your nips. Just in case.
Just in case. Oh my God. I had one more thing to say. Oh, this has nothing to do with anything. But yesterday I had my sticky boobs out because I wore them. Also, they're terrible in heat.
Yeah.
They were falling off of my tits all day yesterday. It was insane. But I put them out on my dresser. And then my boyfriend.
She doesn't like the word.
Comes out with them on. Oh my God. He wanted to try them on. And then they had like chest hair all over them. It was so gross.
That's really funny.
I know. And then he put his shirt down and he's like, do I look ripped? And I'm like, no, you look like you're lactating. You look like your boobies are full of milk.
Do I look buff? Can I skip the gym today?
They were like little nuggets that were just hanging off of his pecs. It was so funny.
There's another new thing for you that you have tried.
Yes.
Tell us about the period sex.
It's terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. So, I got really turned on, which I normally never do on my period. It's usually the cramps just kind of suck, and I'm never in the. But that D, Daddy's D. Yeah, I was like super down to try, and he was really like comfortable with it. He was like, "Yeah, we can. Like, I'm more than fine to have sex on your period." So I was like, "Okay, fuck it, let's try." So this was. I was using condoms at the time, and so I was like, okay, so we laid down a towel, put on a condom, started having sex, and it was fine. Like cramps wise was kind of what I was more concerned about. I didn't really think, this was like day one of my period, which usually doesn't bleed that much. And then the smell started bothering me, and I was like looking down, and I was like, and I was like bleeding a lot more than I thought I was. And the smell of that mixed with a condom was like throwing me the fuck off. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to keep going. And then there was just a lot more blood than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And I was like really uncomfortable with it. And I was like not having fun. Like I know that probably wraps around like some sort of like period shame, but like seeing it on the object to which I was having sex with, I was like, ugh, this is not for me.
I mean, yes, I think that, it could possibly be linked to period shame or whatever. Also, it's kind of the one like sexual substance that like we're used to that is like a color. You know what I mean? Like all the other fluids and stuff, like they're pretty clear.
Yeah.
And like not as in your face, but like blood is red.
And also, in all other areas of your life, when you're bleeding, that's like an issue. It's not something that's like, oh, good, keep going, you know? So I think I'm just not used to that.
And it's not like period blood is unscented. It's not unscented. And I think if like you're being penetrated while on your period, that is going to push out a lot more too if you just think of it like physically.
God, yeah. I got off and I was like, I'm not having fun. And he's like, okay, that's totally fine. Like we can stop.
Terrified.
I know. And I was like, I don't like it. And then, like I ran to the shower and like got in, and then I saw like when he came in, he had like to wash a lot of stuff off. I was like, I don't like it. He's like, can you look at me? It's okay. He was like so concerned that like he had done something.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's not you. It's that I'm having no fun sensory wise.
Yeah, exactly. We're sensitive.
Yeah. Sensitive bitches.
That.
So, it won't be for me ever if I'm like heavy flow.
That's fair.
Yeah, no. I will say that I didn't know I was starting my period a couple days ago, and we had sex. And I like spotted a little bit on like the bed, which still is uncomfortable for me. Like I don't love seeing that, but it was way different, and like there wasn't blood anywhere. It was just like spotting on the bed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Do you have period sex?
Not really, because of how sick I am on my periods. Like, I have 10 out of 10 cramp pains. Yeah. So it's like, he's not allowed to touch me.
Yeah, don't. Can you please give a little highlight reel of when you were really sick the other week? But we like kind of went over how you were like,
oh God, yeah.
It was just kind of funny.
So I got really, really sick last week when I had my period.
The funny part.
That's you like my pain. Like vomiting, shitting myself. That vibe. But this time I also had like a fever. This is not abnormal for me on my period. This is what my periods are like. This was just a particularly bad one. They ebb and flow with like the severity. But I was so fucking hot. I was burning up. So I just like stripped off my clothes. I'm sitting on the toilet like a fucking goblin.
Because you also have your squatty potty.
Oh yeah, and I also have a squatty potty, so my like knees are up to my fucking chest. I have a bag that I'm puking in because I have to shit in the toilet. There's no room in there for what's coming out of my mouth. But I needed a new bag, so I had to yell to my husband to bring me one. And he came in and handed it to me, and that was like such a vulnerable moment. And I have to say, I didn't give a shit in the moment. I don't even care now, to be honest. I'm like, yeah, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Welcome to marriage.
Oh, cool. Well, guys, we also talked about that feeling of when you're hunched over and what small-breasted women, how that looks when, like, your titties become this, like, mole nose of a funnel.
Mole nose. Because they, like, get pointy.
But
not
mounded.
Yes, like a pointy mound.
There's no pointed nipple.
No.
No. They wouldn't give you the right to have somewhat.
It's rounded. So yeah.
And like a funnel, and it's just concaved.
Yeah, concaved on the side. So I'm just there, knees up to my mole noses. Shitting myself.
Sweating.
Oh God, sweating so bad. And then I was like, go get my ice roller. And I made him ice roll my forehead. And that is on partnership.
I'm so sad for you. But that visual is fucking hilarious.
It's an honest one.
It's an honest
one. If you can't relate, I don't want you here.
I don't want you in my audience, period.
If your mole noses aren't touching your knees while you're shitting, just, fuck, what is another word for shitting that, like, hurts? When diarrhea hurts.
Fire butt?
Yeah.
What is it? Spicy butt?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. I got spicy diarrhea.
So anyways, period sex. So, no, we didn't fuck right after that.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of period sex. I have had period sex, and it was great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, not on really heavy days. And I did a project in college on, periods, period sex, and all of that. And I think it's just either for you or it isn't. And there are ways to make it better. There are ways to make it more enjoyable if you're into that. But if you're not, like, I don't think it's that big of an issue, but I also think there's a lot of pressure now that we're more period positive, and like you shouldn't be ashamed of your period to also like want to do everything that you would when you're not on your period, or like that non-menstruators would do.
Right.
And it's like, fuck that. That's just more added pressure. If you don't want to have sex on your period, like your body is in a different state. Like when you're super stressed and anxious, you don't want to have sex. When you're, in pain, you don't want to have sex. Like you shouldn't, even if you don't have cramps or if, your period isn't hard on you necessarily, I don't think you should feel pressure to have sex. It's just whatever the fuck you want to do.
Whatever the fuck you want to do. Amen. Amen. And here's to puberty.
God's coming up. I just spit. My God.
Last week, I spit so much at Cass and landed right here on this blanket. It was incredible. I was like, did you see that?
I did. Even without my glasses on.
I know. It was bananas.
Bananas.
Other things that we've been interested about that I don't even know if we'll try.
Yeah.
But we're interested in them.
We're interested in threesomes. You know what I mean? Like, who's not a little interested? Just curious. I'm a curious kitten.
I'm a curious kitten. So what have your general thoughts been about threesomes just in your life?
You know, it's gone back and forth at points. I am not 100% opposed. I'm not like actively seeking a threesome either. I don't know how I would respond.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would be like a healthy thing for my relationship right now. And that's not dogging on my relationship at all. It's just like, I feel like my person and I, who right now I want to be monogamous with, like, there are so many ways, like, room for growth, I guess, is the only thing I can think. Like, there's so many things that we can do together that it's like, that's what I'm more focused on right now. So it's like, a threesome just isn't where my head is at. That's not to say that I wouldn't ever, or that like we haven't talked about it in the past, not necessarily seriously, but it's like just where I'm at now. I'm like, it's not really for me. And I think that's a good thing to know because I know myself well and I just don't know how I would respond and if I would be a jealous turd, if I would be super turned on. I don't know. So I'd rather do more like role play and like talking through it more. I don't know.
Pretend that there's someone else in the room. Are you having fun? Yes, I am. Can I come suck your dick?
Whatever.
Wouldn't that be funny?
That would be hilarious. I'm going to ask you to be a sock puppet there. You'll just like...
Like how when Jess made a fake Nick for the bedroom.
Yes,
you can make a fake third person. I could just voice record and you guys just press play. And then
why don't we just have you on the phone, but we'll like put you in a stuffed animal?
I would think that'd be so funny.
All right.
Just be a sock puppet in the room. Are you having fun?
What I do to be a sock puppet in that room, like a fly on the wall.
That's the new saying.
That's the new saying when you want to have sex with two people.
What I do to be a sock puppet in that room. Pay a lot of money to do that. Damn.
What are your thoughts on threesomes?
I've always thought they sounded super hot. Like, I've always been down. I would do...
I've always been down. Always been
just
ready.
Just a down bitch for that. No, if I were to do one, it would be me and another woman and, like, a guy. But where I get hung up on is if I want to be in a relationship with one of them.
Either of them.
Yeah. Because I don't think I could do that. I think I would have to be the guest star. If I was going to do a threesome, because it does sound really interesting. Like, I'm attracted to women. I would love to have sex with a woman. Like, and it would be really fun to do that with also penetration from like a guy that I was with. But do I want to be with him? I don't know. So that would be hard because I don't know if I could handle like the relationship aspect. I think I would have to be the guest star.
That's fair.
Yeah, because I'm
totally
a jealous turd, and I knew that. But also, we've talked about how I get turned on by like knowing that other people have been with my boyfriend and like think my boyfriend is cute. So that's also hard. But it would be hard to see him like enjoy another woman.
What's difficult is like it's hard to know until you're there because you can. I think one good practice that like I found while researching was trying to go through scenarios in your head and be like, oh, does that feel like a yes? Does that feel like a no? And I think that's a great idea for figuring out if it's something that you're actually interested in. And you can't really know if it's going to feel like a yes or a no until you're in the moment, but then a third person is there. And that's a third person's feelings. That's a third person's pleasure. That's like a third human being. And that was another really big thing that we found was like, that's a fucking human.
Yeah.
And
you've now brought someone else's feelings into the mix.
Exactly. And so they are just as like important as anybody else.
You can't blow up the scenario nor make them your therapist during that moment.
Exactly.
If you're like in a relationship with one person and now have brought a third person.
Unless that's like the role play that you've all agreed upon.
But yeah, I did really like, I think Bella and Jace mentioned this in our Swingers episode, that a lot of the time they still have contact with each other, like physical or like they're looking at each other if they're doing stuff with other people.
Yeah.
And I think one of their rules is they don't ever leave the room, or at least I saw that in one of the articles that I read about threesomes. It's like a way to stay connected to your partner is like staying in the same room. Like no one goes off with like one person or the other. That was maybe more for like orgies, I guess. Because if you're leaving one person in a room And they're just like,
okay,
okay,
here we are.
I'm having a threesome right now. Like, that's not really a threesome, I guess. That's a twosome, and you're invited to watch.
Which I guess is a type of threesome as well. Is true. If somebody does not want to be actively physically involved, like, isn't that a cuckold too? Like, that could be, that's a form of that.
Yeah, I guess so.
But also like a voyeur.
Yeah, I guess that's really true. It's so interesting. Threesomes are so interesting.
There are so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I don't want to say no, I would never do it, because I think there are so many ways that I just don't know about or haven't heard about, or like, you know, at some point in my relationship, I would not do it as a way to spice up my relationship.
No, I heard that is the wrong thing to do.
If there's something wrong in my relationship, I feel like I'm not getting like a need met, that is not a time to outsource.
Right.
I feel.
But I also thought it was
but
interesting.
I do outsource to you when I like not getting some emotional need met. So I don't know.
I know. But I also was a little confused because it said, and I guess maybe it depends on what you mean by spice up. It said, do not use this as a way to like get closer to your partner or to spice up your relationship. But I'm like, then in what point do you make the decision to have a threesome?
Yeah.
Because like you're trying something new, novel, exciting. What are you trying it for then?
I feel like, I guess it's just your definition of spice it up. If you're wanting to spice it up because it's been stale or because you feel like you aren't getting a need met, I don't think that's a time. If you are like, oh, we're super good, we feel strong, like we're getting our needs met, and this is something we are interested in, not something that you need, maybe. Or I don't know, but who cares if that's what you need? Like, if that's what you and your partner need, fucking great. If you're not hurting anybody and the person involved is all into it.
As long as there's no like emotional repercussion, I feel like that you didn't intend for. Like if you're intending to spice up your emotional connection and really dig deep at what makes another person uncomfortable, like go for it, I guess. But yeah, I know. It's kind of interesting to like think about that dynamic. Anyway, but a lot of you said that you would be so interested. And then almost all of you said you've never tried one, which I resonate with personally.
Yeah, that definitely clicks with us. Some of you had tried, some of you gave some good advice. Like, well, anybody that gave advice gave good advice. Like, use a neutral location. So that makes sense. Like, if I were to, you know, have a threesome with my current partner and bring somebody in, I probably wouldn't want it to be in our bed. I don't know. That's just... Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if I would actually care, because I don't think I hold it like that's sentimental. It's not
like marriage bed.
Yeah. That feels like kind of grody.
That's interesting. I don't know. I wouldn't have sentimental value to my bed, but now that you're saying that, I guess if it went wrong, I also wouldn't want it to have been in my home.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I feel like in my home is like my dogs and stuff. Like, that feels sentimental. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be the actual sex part that I think would bug me. It would be outside of it, like feeling, but I don't know, because I think if I were to have a threesome with somebody, I would want to, even if they were a stranger, want to care about them.
Right.
And like enjoy being around them. And so I feel like I shouldn't care if I care that they're walking through my home to get to my bedroom, I probably shouldn't fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting. So also, have you thought about stranger versus not?
I think not a friend, but not like a straight, like I think an acquaintance, maybe somebody I've known a little bit, but I'm not close with. Like, not somebody who would just be in my daily life. Somebody who, like, if it didn't go well, there wouldn't be hurt feelings if we were like, okay, it's just probably best not to proceed with this friendship. But somebody who, like, if it did go well, we could be like, okay, cool. Like,
we can do it again.
Yeah. Or we can go get dinner or something. You know what I mean? But it's not like my family unit. It's not you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't think that would go well. No. Yeah, that's so... God, like so many scenarios run through my head when I think about just like people and who I would want to do it with.
So what is your thought on stranger versus, I don't know.
I guess I kind of connect with you on that. It would be fun to have them pop up every now and then, be like, I've had sex with you.
Yeah.
And it went great. And we had a lot of fun. Like, I wouldn't want them to be like, a mystery of the night and I never see them again.
Right.
I also don't think emotionally I could handle not seeing someone I just had sex with.
Exactly, because I get an emotional attachment to the people. I want an emotional attachment to the people that I sleep with.
Yeah, and I can think someone's hot, but I think it takes a little bit more for me to want to have sex with them. So if I found someone that I like thought was really attractive, I would need to know them a little bit more. That being said, it would never be someone that I've been friends with or like I am currently friends with.
Yeah.
But if I was the third person, I think same rules apply. I would have to kind of generally, they'd be in like my fourth sphere of like individuals that I've crossed paths with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. And I think as the third, you would need to be a little more careful, safety wise. But there's also the option of like all three people are like not in a relationship. Like you were saying, that might be what you were interested in.
Right.
So, there's just so many ways to do it.
So many ways. And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say for finding a threesome, I think a lot of people try and use Tinder and Bumble. And I'm going to be honest, I think that's kind of lame. Like, I think it's kind of shitty, especially if you are a like bi person, like a bi femme person. There's like a lot of people being like, oh, do you want to be our third? Do you want to be our unicorn? And I think that's kind of shitty to do on a site like that because that's not what it is intended for. It is not that I think that threesomes are shitty or that like those kinds of relationships are shit. Not at all. But I do think that there's like a space for that. And it shouldn't necessarily be that everyone you're swiping through, you're like, oh, is this just a girl? Or is this her and her fucking boyfriend that's like...
It's also not fair because this was when I was new to our area and I was looking for friends. If you go on BFF mode, a lot of people are relationship profiles that are looking for a third.
Yes.
Or you swipe on a friend and you like maybe didn't scroll to the bottom of their profile and the bottom is like a picture of them and they're like looking for another.
Exactly.
Or something.
And it's like, I personally don't think that is the space for that. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. I just don't think it like makes it feel very safe and open if that is your intention.
Right.
But there are apps specifically for that seem really fucking cool and like not scary or sketchy, but Feeld, F-E-E-L-D was one that I thought sounded like a good alternative. So it's like a dating app for exploration, curiosity, and pleasure. And you can join solo or with a partner to find lovers and friends.
Yes.
I think that is so cute.
Yeah, Field is the same.
And their branding's really cute too. So gotta love a well branded.
Is calling the third person a unicorn offensive?
I've heard both.
I like exclusively heard them referred to as the unicorn in all of the research. And also I remember us talking about it and it being like, that's kind of not fair. Like, I feel like it objectifies the third person.
Yeah.
But also, I know that people will use that term freely for themselves.
I know. I think it depends on the person. I think some people get offended when other people use it because I think it is an objectification of generally by women. Of like, oh, you're just our unicorn or whatever. And like, I think that happens a lot on Tinder and Bumble. I can't really speak to Tinder, but Bumble. So I think it can be, but I really think it just depends on the person.
Like how they prefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody likes that term for themselves, fucking great. Like I don't think unless there's something I don't know, which is totally
like let us know.
Yeah,
likely.
Please let us. It's likely. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
Right.
But
yeah. Interesting. Well, another thing that I don't think either one of us could visualize were how threesomes happen.
Yes.
So we have a slew of positions that we want to go through. Do you want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I found one called Doggy and a Biscuit.
Okay.
So this is doggy plus oral. So you're giving oral to one person who is standing, sitting, on their knees, etc., while you are on your hands and knees. Okay, so you're on your hands and knees. You're giving oral to somebody in front of you. And then there's somebody taking you from behind as well.
Oh, kind of like a Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But there's no hand touching necessarily.
Got it.
But yeah, I think it's like an Eiffel Tower, depending on the parts you have and what you do with your hands, I guess.
I like that.
I mean, what else would you do with your... If you are one of the people either penetrating or receiving oral, what would you do with your hands?
Right on my hips.
Really? Really think about it. I want you to like your real answer.
Okay. I think what I would do.
You're blocking me.
I'll go right here. Can you still see you?
Yeah.
If I was receiving, this is me being received. Probably a hand like on their head or like shoulder, not like moving, and then a back. Or you know what I love? You know what position I love?
Yes, we love that. We love that.
A good old man walking through a park, both hands behind their back, holding a wrist, you know?
When we were at a concert a couple weeks ago, we were both standing like that. And Emma was like, well, it's a little cuter if you like drop or like put one hand higher and hold it like more near your elbow. Yeah. And I was like, I don't care about being cute. And she's like, well, you're not here alone.
I know. I had to be cuter. I can't just sway by myself. Like I'm looking at birds on the ground. Like
on the ground.
You know? I need
if they're eating my bird seed, my homemade bird seed, I try to do formula.
I try to do formula. It's working well. Yeah, I had to try to be cuter. It's important for me.
I like hand on the head. I think that would be good in their like grabbing their hair and stuff could be fun too.
Yeah.
I just like picture holding hands with the other person. Just like
this
I don't
is
know.
Fun. Patty cake?
Yeah.
I like it. Make it a game. Slide. Remember I taught you slide?
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We played that. We were good at it.
We were good at it. It was really fun. Okay, so one position that I found is called the watch and learn.
I
think it's interesting. So one person is laying down and another person is giving them oral. Okay. So laying between their legs and giving oral. And then the third person is like up behind the person laying down giving oral. So it's like if they wanted to penetrate, they could penetrate from behind. If they wanted to just like massage and like watch the two people giving oral here.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, we'll put these
I don't know if I can. It's literally in the camera.
We'll put them on the screen.
Yeah.
If we can make that work.
Which I think is interesting because then the third person could be like exploring a voyeur thing, which I always think about.
Which we know
I always
interested.
think about it. But I love the idea of it. And it looks comfy. It looks like not a lot of effort has to be done.
And that's what we love.
And I don't have stamina to do much. So
yeah,
I enjoy the watch and learn. Give me another one.
Double straddle or double cowgirl.
Ooh.
So one person lays down, one person rides their face, and the other either scissors them or is penetrated by them.
I like that.
I was reading these to my partner, and I'm like, am I describing these okay? Like, do they sound like, are you able to infer what I'm saying? Visualize? And he's like, I think I'd do that one.
I think I'd have that one. I would too. Well, what would I want to be? Who would I want to be? Oh, so I have had this like weird. This is not weird, but I'm saying it for myself as a defensive mechanism
to separate yourself from something you feel ashamed of.
Yes, correct. Nail on the head, finger on the nose. Of being a penetrator. That sounds really interesting to me, and I think like with another woman.
I like it.
Yeah. So I've thought about that. So in that way, that's why I'm saying like I don't know which one I'd like to be because I think it actually could be kind of fun. Will I ever do it? Probably not. I probably will never be in a situation, but never say never, as Justin Bieber has once taught me.
And there you go.
There you go. That's I think I'll try that one.
Yeah,
that's funny.
He was excited about that one. He's like, I didn't think I was interested in a threesome, and he's like, but that one. And then he's like, cool. I wish I could just clone you.
Aww.
I was like, oh, that's
Thanks,
very nice.
Phoebe. That's sweet. That's very kind.
Yeah. And then I'm like, I don't know how I would feel about that.
Okay. I will
very meta.
Very meta. I'll do one more that I think is interesting. Ooh. Oh my. Oh, hey, I just found that one. The double down. That's what it's called in this on this article. Whoa, that's fun. God, there are so many cool things. I just have to pick one, though.
Okay, come on, share.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Share.
I'm going to go with the best kind of sandwich. The sex sandwich. It's very similar to...
Sounds sweaty.
I like sweaty. I know you don't like sweaty, but I love sweaty sex. So I'm all for this one.
Okay, then go for it.
This is a good transition from what I just described with oral and someone behind. So this is... it looks like one person is laying down. The other person looks to be either scissoring or penetrating the person laying down, still in between, like in a missionary stance. And then there's another person kneeling behind the person on top.
Okay.
So they could either be penetrating, giving like stimulation, whatever. Again.
Okay.
Very similar to the position I described.
But more laid down.
But more, yeah.
It's like missionary.
It's missionary.
And then a third person is
exactly.
behind. Yeah,
exactly.
so a sandwich.
A sandwich.
A sandwich.
A sex sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah. It just looks fun. I will say that I looked these up at the wrong time. Also, I had these earmarked on my laptop, and every time I'd open Google, this would pop up, and I would be at work. I would be in my corporate
having the best sandwich.
The best sandwich.
Last one I'll say is the daisy chain. Which is basically 69, but with 3 people, so it creates like a triangle.
Yeah.
Or a daisy chain.
Or a daisy's chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just so many ways. I don't even know what I pictured. I pictured 3 people kneeling, fondling each other's nipples. Yeah. That's how I pictured a threesome until we started this research.
That is a valid threesome.
I'm sorry, that's a valid threesome.
That's valid. I've done it 8 times.
If that's valid. A threesome, I've done
I've actually done it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know why.
Very sweet.
Just nibbling.
And scary threesome.
Quiet, too.
Yeah. Silent. It's dead
Eerily.
silent. You know, you're not far off, I think, from what I pictured in my head. It's just like nobody's really touching.
Like a high kneel.
Yeah.
And just kind of like gazing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you having fun? I'm having fun. Are you having
a great time? Sandwich. Yeah, I don't know, but that's why I loved this research, and I was excited by it.
Yeah,
sexually
excited.
That was fun, though.
That was fun.
I feel like we've been up to some fun stuff these past couple months.
Up to some things.
Some things.
I'll try and do more stuff, and then we'll do another update, and maybe I will have done something wild.
Give it 100 more episodes, and maybe you will. You never know.
There's always time.
There's always time. Well, I know that we don't really get senti on this podcast. Sentimental. But 100 episodes is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been almost 2 years of our life of being completely different people because of people that listen. And that means a lot to us.
Yeah, we really do love you guys. We really care about you and your sex lives. And we hope that these episodes help you as much as they help us.
I know.
Because I will say the sex I am having is night and day.
Yeah.
From before this. So
Same.
I hope that we're all in this together, just having more pleasurable sex.
Yeah. I care about your sex life. Bring me into the bedroom.
Bring me in.
Yeah.
I'll help.
I never get tired of saying see you guys next week.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.